This is take 6 of Debbie Does Dallas. And welcome back to another episode of Tunnel Talks with Matt, Boo, and Pat. Episode 2, as you can see. We did that the other day in the plane.
We sure did.
Getting ready to
Isn't it
jump.
episode 4?
What's that?
Isn't it episode 4?
Yeah, this is episode 4. Oh, what did I say?
2.
I meant 2 stickers. Yeah, that's just the.
Do you need 2 more stickers?
Well, I mean, we're kind of mixing up a little bit the order, but okay, yes, this is episode 4. 2 stickers.
Is that all business in the front, party in the back? Is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, this party right. That's part of the bites that I got like when I crashed the one wheel.
Yep.
Oh, it was gnarly. But yeah, I got this little bushy tail. It's like the
I love
funnest
it.
haircut I've ever
I
had.
love it.
I've never had
Just
this
noticed
haircut.
it. That's hilarious.
I wish I had straighter hair because those dudes, they get mullets and they have like straight bangs and they grow it hella long in the back. It's like, it's so horrible looking that it's like amazing looking at the same time.
Love it.
All right. Dude, I am a candidate flight instructor. I haven't gone through any training yet, and we're going to be starting that in just about a month from now.
September, yep.
And we're going to be spending almost a month flying in iFly Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah.
Is that a franchise or is that a corporate tunnel?
As a corporate-owned tunnel. I mean, they are a corporate tunnel. So for those who don't know, there's corporate tunnels. So that's, main entity headquartered out of Austin, Texas. And there's also franchise tunnels. Franchise are, people who want to open up a tunnel, can go reach out. You have to bring the capital up and you can open up your own tunnel underneath the iFly brand. But yes, to your point, iFly Charlotte is where we'll be training. Yeah.
Okay. So we have to watch our language, left hand, left knee, right hand, right knee while we're there.
A firm, Roger.
I mean, even it's a family environment. So no matter corporate or franchise.
Right.
Right.
But but we have a lot more freedom, right? To develop our own DNA for iFly Wilmington.
Yeah, culture-wise, right? There's standards and rules and regulations that safety is always paramount no matter where you go, and there's standards that we'll always abide by the iFly brand because they are a phenomenal brand. Again, the number 1 indoor skydiving company in the world, opened in 1998. 70, 80 tunnels throughout the world on cruise ships. Phenomenal brand, phenomenal company, and it was the first ones I decided to, when this journey began 6 years ago, the first ones I ever thought of, because my experience in iFly in all the tunnels, whether franchise or corporate, has been phenomenal, and we'll replicate that professionalism. But to your point, right, each tunnel has their own culture, and, being here in Wilmington, the team that we have, the experience that we have, and just make sure we're having fun and family fun, and yeah, it's going to be great, man. Yeah.
I've definitely, because my personality, but just because of how grateful I am for this team, the vision that we have for the culture. I mean, Boo, you've shared, how we want to be an opening, welcoming, honestly, a safe place where you can just show up and we're going to take care of you, and we're not going to treat you like an outsider. But, unfortunately that exists in certain wind tunnels. It would not necessarily for a customer, but like you've been talking about, like, people that have a greater frequency to be flying and stuff. And we want to go a different direction. I mean, we want to be bringing them.
I think whatever direction that we are is that we're going to be ourselves.
Yeah.
At iFly Wilmington, and there's always with the team, and I learned this from the guys up in Virginia Beach, but and you guys know from the military, there's forming, storming, and then norming.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
You're going to form the group,
Storm and Norman,
and then you're gonna all those type A personalities, they're gonna storm a little bit, and then eventually you'll normalize. And then you'll be able to get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah,
things.
but to your point, when we're talking about that, the culture, but from the team aspect, right? The employees, the team that we're building, we use, and which we'll talk about a little bit more, our FITP, which is our flight instructor training program, a formalized training program that we'll use in Charlotte. You know, that month long that we're going to be out there, that's a perfect time, right? It's not going to be, everything's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows. We're going to get in there. We're going to train hard, train safely, have a ton of fun doing it. But also you get time to meet the new people, like you say, type A personalities, but also people want to have fun, and you get to know each other, right? So it's a off-site location. People are trying to learn a new skill for the right reasons, and it's a bonding experience too, right? So you can embrace the culture, right? Hey, this is what we're trying to do. Embrace the ideas from around the team. There's no such thing as a bad idea. You talk through it, go around the table, make a decision, and then adjust in flight. No pun intended, but you adjust to make sure it fits with the personalities of the team, right? So.
So for instructors, I mean, is skydiving experience favored? I mean, it's not required, but what makes a good instructor?
What makes a good instructor?
Or a good candidate?
I think you need to be physically fit, right? I mean, it is a physically demanding job. You don't need to be a skydiver at all. And I think even in some ways, with all respects, I think over the years, what corporate has learned is that the instructor that is not a skydiver, it ends up becoming a longer term employee. A lot of skydivers want to come in, gain the skills that they want for the sky, and then they bounce,
right?
And then they bounce. And we're not trying to do that at iFly Wilmington. Now, we're not against skydiving, but we're looking for those people that want to be here long term with us to grow this business locally. And, I think there's some other things on the horizon that I won't get into, but locally, we want to establish a family business. And so what makes a good instructor? I think great personality, someone that works hard. You're going to wake up every day and, I've always said this, but if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. And if you're getting up going, oh man, I got to go to the wind tunnel today, you probably made some wrong decisions. And we don't necessarily aren't looking for those kind of people. I want people that are going to wake up and go, dude, I get to go to work today. And we're going to fly. We're going to do some high flights. We're going to do some sales. We're going to keep everybody safe. And I'm working with Matt, and Matt's so fun to work with. Yeah. But so that's kind of really what you look for, is people that are goal oriented, people that are in top physical shape, because it is a physically demanding job. And, like that, people that are team players, right? Because it is a team. We always say it, no matter which tunnel you go to, teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? Like it is a full-on team effort to make that whole cycle of an hour and a half per each group of customer to go smooth, right? Team effort.
Yeah. So could we break down a little bit more detailed as far as the training that goes into developing a flight instructor, as far as the FITP and like what it actually looks like?
Yeah, I'll start again. The FITP, Flight Instructor Training Program, it's a set standardized training of 4 weeks. Again, we'll go out to iFly Charlotte. That's all, for us in particular, candidates will be paid a training salary or training hourly wage. Go out there. They're going to go out. We'll provide housing, room and board and food, 4 weeks, 5 days a week. On the weekends, if we got to shuffle back and forth from home and take care of personal items, no issues, no worries, no drama, as we say, right? But out there training, but it's long days, right? And it's not 8 hours sitting in the wind tunnel, because that's extremely physically demanding. Again, you're floating, but it's a whole new position, especially if you haven't done it before. Again, there is no preference. If you're a good skydiver and you just want to, you want to come be a part of the team long term, we want you. If you're a person who's just fun, adventurous, great personality, you like to talk to people, you got to be a people person. I mean, that's, I'm not calling it a hard requirement, but it is, right? You got to be interacting with customers, mom, dad, 3 years old, 50 years old, right? People who are experienced skydivers who may be better in the wind tunnel than you, right? That's it, and that's fine. But just, hey, having a good conversation with somebody, understanding what their skill set is, what their goals are. If they're just, hey, to have fun, absolutely, man. Let's go have some fun. Just listen to my instruction. We're going to give you some instruction. When I'm in the wind tunnel, just listen to me, have fun, breathe. But a person who can come and carry a good conversation. If you're not a people person, hey, let's call it what doesn't make a good flight instructor. If you don't like to, if you like to be behind the scenes and doing stuff, that's no problem too. We have those positions as well, right? And we'll never turn a shy away from talking to somebody. But for the instructor, like, you're out there on the floor in the wind tunnel, whether you're driving the wind tunnel, that's some part of the business. You know, there's really a 3-person dance. Rob can speak to a little bit more of it, but you know, you have a flight instructor inside the physical wind tunnel with the student that's flying, or with the customer that's flying, and physically ensuring the safety. There's another one, typically in the door.
No,
Usually two men.
two man.
Two-person dance. Excuse me. But so two. Some wind
In
tunnels.
some cases, you do have like where 2 instructors are operating.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a big party group, or maybe it's a special needs flyer. You might have a 3-man, but in general, it's 2.
Yeah.
I liken it to like a sniper team.
There we go.
Like
Talking our language.
you got one guy that's, you know, calling out distances through the goggles, and you got one guy pulling the trigger. And the only way that mission works is those 2 guys working together. And so for us in the wind tunnel, you got one guy driving the wind tunnel, controlling the airspeed, and you know, because every person from 3 and up is different body type. You certainly don't need as much wind power for a 3-year-old as you would for Pat or I, or for you, right? So instantly you're going from, I just flew this adult, to now next up is this little kid. I need that driver to turn the wind down to calibrate it for this kid's wind speed, because I don't want him going to the top. I want him somewhere about 3 to 4 feet off the net, right, where I can control the environment.
Right.
Which is what it is. It's a controlled environment.
Yep.
And driving is part of the FITP program.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. So we say the driver, but that's if anybody's, you can go on YouTube and you can see it. But there's a booth physically outside of the actual tunnel where the wind is blowing.
It's like a DJ booth at
literally
the roller rink.
Big old iPad screen looking thing with the throttle, and that throttle controls the airspeed depending on the body type, and how that person is flying. And like Rob was saying, it's a dance. There's hand signal communication to tell the wind speed. Hey, that's, you know, up, down. I forget it. Obviously, it's second nature to you. But you're talking to that driver who's controlling that wind tunnel, who's also watching the student or customer fly, to understand. Again, there's times when that person with experience comes like, okay, I can see if something about to happen. You just slow that thing down, right? And it becomes a dance. It becomes second nature when you're doing it. So there's driver training inside the booth itself, but then also, of course, the flight skills that are required too. So going back, I know I get long-winded and off track, but for our flight instructor training program, FITP, 4 weeks, 3 weeks of good hard training, and then a 4th week is really shadowing a up and running wind tunnel, you know, which we'll use iFly Charlotte for the time being. But then when our wind tunnel is up and running, which concurrently while that training is going, our construction is finalizing, we have to do what's called a commissioning process. So iFly certified engineers come in to ensure the safety of the system itself, its proper functionality, that it's running
Before anybody even
Absolutely, yeah. There's a huge aspect to that. So there's enormous safety factors that are built into it, redundancy that are built into it. So while we're finishing up, we're off-site finishing our training. iFly engineers are in there and ensuring the physical system itself is operating correctly. And then when we come back, now we can continue training, further individual advanced training for instructors and other FITPs, which, you know, Boo's going to be running for us as well too. So, and the candidates who just graduated will be able to assist and again further their individual skills ahead of the grand opening too. So, yeah.
So, and some of this is just for my own personal knowledge. Driving, flying, and then you have to understand like how to operate and also to a certain extent maintain the tunnel as an instructor, correct?
Yeah, I'll let you talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so every day, every morning, We do a run up where you go and inspect the entire airflow system, make sure that like often like earplugs fall out, so they'll pull up together, but hair ties, things like this, and they get they get sucked into the air system. Sometimes you'll have, we talked about having lockers and places where people can put their things, but sometimes some people will be like, I'm not gonna take my things out. And sure enough, like money can get sucked into the wind tunnel. And, but whatever the case be, whatever flies off, we got to get it out. We can't have little pieces of things flying through the wind tunnel as you're flying.
Where do they collect?
In the turning vanes, typically. These are like these corner pocket areas of the tunnel where
building,
that
yeah.
redeflects the air
And they heat up,
to go all the way around the building.
right?
Would you say to heat up or eat up?
No, they get hot. The veins.
The
do,
vein,
right?
I mean, yeah, eventually, because it's deflecting that air, and that air is moving so fast, they warm up a little bit.
Yeah.
But we got to go in the morning. We do that morning inspection. Who knows? Maybe we had to do maintenance the night before, right? We got to go, and we got to know that whoever was doing maintenance didn't leave any tools or anything in the system, right? We can't have that. So it's done every day before we begin to operate the tunnel. And after you do the inspection, then you're going to do a run up, you're going to test the system to make sure everything is operating as it should be.
A function check.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, so all that's involved in the training, right? So it's not, I say 3 weeks of hard training in the tunnel. There's different aspects of it, what you're alluding to, right? There's, you got to learn how to drive safely, and there's all certifications that go along with it. So you can start to see like, oh, this is not just flying for the candidates that come on, that we bring on. There's a lot of expectations that, you have to know what you're doing, right? And we're going to ensure that you know what you're doing. But to me, greatest job in the world. Who can say, a very, very small percentage, very small population could say I'm an indoor skydiving instructor, and I think that turns heads quickly, right?
Put on a jumpsuit that's like pajamas and float around like angels all day long.
Put smiles on people's faces. To me, best job in the world, man.
And then another thing is, doing run up, learning how to drive, and also teaching a class. Right, the instructor's got to be able to communicate the information that needs to be disseminated,
which you're freaking awesome at. Like when I first met you, I was like, this dude, man, the way he communicates and instructs, it's like you have a gift, and I want to learn every bit of that. But like the other day, we were at the drop zone, and he goes through his whole little clash spiel about how he talks to everybody and throws in these little ha moments. Yep. And dude, you're gifted.
And so that's what I've said to you is still shamelessly. You hear something that another instructor is saying that you're like, wow, that had impact. Steal it and make it your own, right? I mean, you'll have that yourself. There'll be part of Matt that comes out that I might go, I like what he said, and I'm going to steal that and make that part of me. But yeah, that's part about what this whole gig is about, right?
When I first started, previously, I worked at UNCW for like 5 years, and I occasionally taught some classes, and facilitating a conversation about something that you could very well know everything about. It's like the physical act of facilitating, communicating, and, formulating your words. Like, it's freaking difficult. It's not.
It takes brain power.
Yeah.
And energy.
And a plan and skills and attentiveness. And
one thing too, passion, right? To what Boo was saying, I say it's the best job in the world, right? Boo's done this, and it being just the sheer, I'll call it, right, the cool factor of having a fun job like this, but then the passion comes out, right? So to me, it's the ability to clearly communicate, instruct, but when you're talking to somebody, and you can tell when somebody likes what they're doing, right? Whether that's a simple smile and or a little excitement in there you throw in there, and it's not a show, right? Because you can tell, people can see when you're kind of faking the funk, as we used to say, right? But somebody is like, I really want to be here, man. Hey Johnny, come in here. Hey Sarah, come on in. Hey, let's go. Have you seen this? As they walk in and they see, again, the spectating aspect of the show that it is, and be like, if you want to do that one day, we can do that, but we're going to start here, nice and safe, and I'm going to be there with you every step of the way. You're going to have a lot of fun. you put a smile on somebody. Man, this is kind of cool, right?
Yeah, I can't. That's the
That's
stuff
kinda
I
cool.
can't wait for.
Right.
Yeah,
And that's
I
what
love that.
put out. We didn't talk about it, right. So we use tongue in cheek. We say guys, right? There is no gender requirement, right? We're looking for anybody who wants to come out, male, female, no gender requirement, right? So, and everything there too. So, right. So, we encourage it. We've had a significant interest in flight instructor candidates. You can contact us. I think it's info@iflywilmington.com. We're taking resumes as we speak. And again, we're, as we sit August 5th, we're about 5 weeks away from starting. So, we're open and willing, and we're just jacked to get as many candidates as we can. So we're going to start. I will throw that out there. We're going to start with about 7 candidates. That's on our first flight instructor training program that we're going to run off-site, and then we're going to continue to build our training cadre, our instructor cadre, with further classes taught inside of our tunnel here in Wilmington, home of Michael Jordan and Trot Nixon.
Home of Michael Jordan and Trot Nixon
Yep.
and Rob Thompson.
Trot, if you're
Yep.
out there, I am a Boston Red Sox fan, and I am from Boston. So please, I want to meet you.
Trot, we went to high school together. I remember you, buddy.
I got to throw it out there, right? So, anyways, shameless plug.
Well, we are out of time again.
Yep.
Great conversation. I am super stoked for the FITP program, and just being a part of the team is going to be a lot of fun. And
So much fun.
I'm going to be the poster boy for, hey, anybody can do this.
Cool.
Anyways, well, dudes, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening. Until next time, go fly, be amazing, book time in our wind tunnel, come fly with Boo, let him charm you with his cute smile, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.